Okay, let's dive in. Picture this. You're strapped into your Cessna, engines running smoothly, mic's hot, you're ready for an IFR flight, and then suddenly ATC hits you with this rapid-fire complex clearance. It just floods your headset. For any pilot, sure, but especially when you're working towards your BIR, your basic instrument rating, well, that moment feels huge. It's kind of make or break, isn't it? You have to get it spot on.
Absolutely. And that's exactly why we're doing this deep dive. Think of this as your essential toolkit for getting ATC comms right, especially when you're flying single-pilot IFR. We're going to unpack some really practical strategies, stuff that's not just for passing the BIR exam, but what actually genuinely matters for safety and clarity up there. In a typical GA plane, we'll hit the 4Ws for those initial calls, and then the CRFT acronym that's for nailing those clearances without messing up. It's all about building a system, making it less stressful.
Okay, good. Let's start with that first call then. It sounds basic, but when you're under pressure, maybe a bit task-saturated. What's the trick to making it, clear and efficient, so you sound like you know what you're doing? I definitely remember my first few attempts felt like a bit of a tongue twister.
Oh, everyone feels that way. It's totally normal. But what's really interesting is how just having a simple, repeatable structure makes such a massive difference. So for initial calls, we use the 4Ws. It stands for what, who, where, and when. What is simply who you're calling, like London information.
Okay.
Who is your full call sign? Cessna GABCD.
Right.
Where your position? Overhead Biggin Hill, 5 miles east, something specific. And finally, when, which is really your request or what you intend to do.
Okay.
Requesting basic service to Nottingham.
What, who, where, when?
And this isn't just rote learning. What this means in the cockpit, practically speaking, is that this structure answers almost every question ATC might have right off the bat. It just slashes ambiguity in your workload. Think about not using it. You get the back and forth. Say again, position. Who are you calling?
Yeah, that adds stress.
Exactly. Each extra transmission adds to your cognitive load. So, yes, it's what examiners want to hear for the BIR practical. But more importantly, it's just fundamentally clearer, safer communication in flight. It's about being understood first time, every time.
Okay, so the order itself is key for reducing everyone's workload. That makes a lot of sense. But then building on that, the next challenge, ATC firing that complex IFR clearance at you. Sometimes it feels like they're speaking another language at double speed. How do you possibly make sure you grab every single detail accurately when it's coming at you that fast, especially flying solo?
That's a really critical point for single-pilot IFR. The workload can spike right there, and that's exactly where craft comes in. Think of craft as your mental shorthand, a cognitive offload tool, really. It's a checklist for taking down clearances efficiently.
Yeah.
So you free up brain space.
CRFT. Okay, what does that stand for?
Right. C, clearance limit. Where are you keyed into?
Okay, C is limit.
R, route. The specific waypoints or airways they want you to fly.
Route. Got it.
A, altitude. Your initial assigned altitude or altitudes.
Altitude. Makes sense.
F, frequency. Who do you talk to next?
Frequency. Yep.
And T, transponder code. Your squawk code.
Transponder. CRFT. Clearance limit, route, altitude, frequency, transponder.
Exactly. And what this means in the cockpit is, as ATC is reading it out, you're not desperately trying to memorize sentences. You're just slotting the info into those 5 boxes on your knee pad. It lets you quickly confirm the whole thing back to them without missing bits, even if you only caught fragments initially. It's definitely how to remember it for the test, yes, but it's your real-world tool for staying ahead of the aircraft, especially when you're managing everything else single-pilot IFR. Imagine missing an altitude change because you were trying to hold the whole clearance in your head.
Yeah, that could get messy fast.
It's a recipe for confusion, or worse. So MIRFT isn't just a handy acronym. It's genuinely a safety buffer. And related to that, we absolutely have to mention mandatory readbacks. Critical information altitudes, headings, the whole clearance, you must read it back. It's not just politeness. It's the crucial confirmation loop. It catches errors before they escalate. That's non-negotiable.
Right, the readback confirms you both understood the same thing.
Precisely. Yeah. And just generally, keep your comms concise. Avoid those filler words, the ums and ahs, if you can help it. Climbing FO100, G, A, B, C, D is way better than, Roger, we are climbing, I think, to flight level 100, G, A, B, C, D. That clarity saves time, reduces frequency congestion, and lowers your own stress. It's all part of managing workload effectively. That precision is a huge safety net when you're flying IFR alone.
So putting this all together, what's the big takeaway for someone prepping for their BIR or maybe already flying some IFR routes? What does this all mean for you, the listener?
It really boils down to this. Getting these communication techniques locked down builds serious confidence. And just as importantly, it significantly cuts down your workload in the often demanding IFR environment. It helps you be proactive, thinking ahead rather than just reacting to whatever ATC throws at you. That applies whether you're in the sim for your exam or out there flying cross-country on a gray day. These aren't just procedures to memorize. They're real cognitive strategies. They make you a safer, sharper, and frankly, a more confident pilot. So here's something to maybe chew on for your next flight or even your next sim session. How might thinking about your ATC interactions less like a casual chat and more like a precise, almost pre-planned dance where every step, every word has a specific purpose? How might that fundamentally change your confidence and performance in the IFR system?